Hello and welcome to this video on developing a formal upright bonsai. Formal upright is also known as shokan and is perhaps one of the most impressive of trees with the simplest of requirements. In this case, simple does not mean easy. Even then, it is achievable for beginners and advanced bonsai practitioners alike. The basic elements of a formal upright are based on a very simple straight trunk and repeating process of branches. These go left, right, back, or alternatively right, left and back, depending on your preferences, handedness, and the tree. The trunk is a major feature of this style, and by necessity visible from the base to the top. The trunk tapers, as do the branches, the largest branches beginning approximately a quarter of the way up the tree and are positioned slightly towards the front. This will be easier to understand later on. The branches will grow closer together but smaller the higher up the tree they are. You create a slightly lopsided effect by having one side extend slightly wider than the other. This all finishes in the apex. Even though the branches are slightly lopsided, there's a taper in the way it's structured. Everything from the bottom of the tree to the apex is kept in line with the center, and this is a key element of the formal upright. In practice, this is a little easier to understand. Let's begin with nursery stock, something like this fuchsia, conifer, or juniper. Ideally, you will select stock that has good taper between the root base, or nabari, and the apex. You can select stock without this, but it requires more time and effort to correct. First, you begin by breaking your tree up into thirds. 1/3 is your root flare and substantial branches. The next is your medium branches, and the final third is your top branches and apex. Remove any branches that grow from the front of the trunk. You should be able to see the position of the branches to each side of the trunk, and they should almost look like arms coming out of it, and slightly forwards and towards you. Select branches that are larger towards the base and spaced roughly evenly apart. Your first branch is on the bottom left in this case. Next, and slightly above it to the right, is your second branch. This is slightly shorter than the first branch to provide the isosceles triangle that is almost a golden rule of bonsai. Then your third branch, which will sit on the back of the tree. You can opt to either have one back branch after every 2 branches on the front, or for every 4 branches. This will make it either the 3rd or 5th branch when you design your tree. Proceed to select your branches going up the tree with the best taper and scale. Cut those that you do not need or want, and this will leave the branches needing wire. Wire the branches as needed to create a slight downward slope, but have the ends put just slightly up. This will allow them to grow towards the light, which is a natural behavior. Most species will require this, and those that do not will not be harmed by it. Now you have your branches sorted, it is time to look at the apex. This is the top of your tree. It needs to form a slight forward and sideways bend. This will allow you to trim the tree and keep it looking healthy for years. For now, it keeps the tree compact and styled. It was once described as having a bowed head with trees, which is why you have it slightly forwards and down. Between the metaphor of arms and head, you get the appearance of a slightly humble person. Different practitioners push the apex of the tree more forward and down, depending upon their approach to this. You now have a tree that has gone from being a good garden plant to the beginnings of a bonsai specimen. You will need to fertilize, water, and clean up your tree. The severe appearance of a formal upright is both one of the strong and weak points of this bonsai style. It is completely unnatural, but at the same time, it is very appealing for some. The very striking nature of the formal upright makes it an impressive tree, and one that will be trained easily and well for a long time, and makes for excellent beginner studies. However, in the long term, you'll find that there are limitations that you may want to challenge, and these will come up as you get more used to working with bonsai trees and become more advanced. Thank you for watching this video. If you have found it useful, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please post any comments, questions, or suggestions below.